Bass in your face.
What the hell is going on down there?
Bass in your face.
Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I also want to let everybody know that the subscribe mode has been enabled, meaning if you are not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. I see we already have a comment. Good evening. Good evening, Deadly. Thank you very much for stopping by. Now, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel, whether you've been a member of the Uncommon Folk, whether it be from the very beginning or just recently joined. I really appreciate all the love and all the support that you have given me. Also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, particularly when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. I really appreciate your continued support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. And I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who watch from the clouds. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on playback. Okay. Also, at any point, if you wish to join the panel to express your point of view regarding a topic, you can hit the link that's been pinned. I will ask though, if this is your first time here, I would ask you to please cam up in the backstage. And the reason why for that is I want to make sure that no one comes over here to flash any genitalia, which can lead the people of YouTube to take down their stream. So I gotta do that to try to protect the integrity of this platform. Okay. So that being said, let me just give you before we get into the topic. There's a couple of things. Well, actually, a couple of things I need to make it perfectly clear. This week I'm gonna be doing a stream on tonight. I'm gonna be doing a stream on Tuesday night, and I'm gonna be doing one on Thursday night. I will not be doing a Friday night stream. Okay. Now on the following week, what I will be doing is my schedule is going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay. Um, Due to some things some commitments which I need to keep. Okay. Now, before we get into the topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Now, some of you might have caught an earlier video, stream that I did today, it was not meant to be a long one. Part of it had to do with the fact that people need to get past whatever beefs they have. Um, you know, look, I get it. We get upset, and then um, we will react and things of that nature, and that's perfectly normal. What's an issue is if you let this beef continue on for an extended period of time. First of all, you're not doing yourself any favors, and basically what you're doing is you are enabling the person who did the wrong to commit more acts of, of wrong. And, and basically, good evening, Don Armando. Thank you very much for stopping by. Now, one thing, I'm not trying to excuse bad behavior, but one thing we have to bear in mind is this: when we get obsessed regarding Happy New Year to you, Don Armando. Oh, and Feliz Dia de los Reyes Magos. Um, also, it's just that when you are constantly fixated regarding what people have done, what you're allowing them to do is to take up space in your mind and in your soul. The best revenge is just be the best version of yourself. Okay, that's the best form of revenge. And I see here we also have happy, Merry Christmas to you, Grapevine. Thank you very much for stopping by. Oh, before I forget, let me let people know that both Donna Mondo and Keisha has her channels. One of them is Grapevine, where um, she'll talk about gossip and things of that nature, and of course, Dreadlock Diaries, where she talks about her journey regarding dreadlocks and proper hair care and things of that nature. Um, so I just wanted to encourage all of you to subscribe to the channels. And first of all, shout out to them for their success. Okay, I know. Um, in fact, Keisha has reached over 500 subs. Speaking about subs, this month I'm trying to see if I can get up to 300 subs. Right now I'm at 285, so I would appreciate it. If you have not done so, please subscribe to this channel and also spread the word to other people here um, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar. Um, this is meant to be an open forum discussion channel. I talk about everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions. And what I encourage here is independent thought. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, eventually I would like to get to 1K. But the reality is that when it comes to okay, no problem. I know when it comes to um, channels where there's no wretchedness and people don't get act foolish or whatever you, it takes more time for them to grow. Okay, I am gratified the fact that I have achieved the success that I achieved uh, without going negative or without being wretched. This is something that I really appreciate. Okay, and the fact that I'm getting close to 55,000 views on my platform, so I really do appreciate it very much. Shout out to the 8 people that are currently viewing, viewing, and if you can, please hit the like button. It's not going to cost you anything, but it will help out with the algorithm. So, it's just that life is too short to be, carrying on beeps that happened a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. So, with that being said, we're we're gonna go into the main topic. Now, as you can see by the thumbnail, um, the um, the name of this the stream is called "Lies, Lies, Lies." Okay, okay, I need to try using that. Uh, so basically, what I'm going to be talking about is doxing and libel. Okay, now let me just give me a moment. Okay, I was gonna share, but sometimes my computer acts a little, turns into a struggle string, and I really don't want to do that. So just give me a moment, and I'll just take a look. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, let me just first define what is doxing. Okay. Okay, doxing is the act of publicly providing personal identifiable information about an individual or organization, usually via the internet and without their consent. Historically, the term has been used to refer to both the aggregation of this information from public databases and social media websites like Facebook, and the publication of previously private information obtained through criminal and otherwise fraudulent means such as hacking and social engineering. The aggregation and provision of previous published material is generally legal, though it may be subject to laws concerning stalking and intimidation. Doxing may be carried out for reasons such as online shaming, extortion, and vigilante aid to law enforcement. And it may be associated with hacktivism. Okay. Now, the reason why I gave you the definition of doxing, because here on this platform, we are going to state what it is. Unfortunately, what's going on is that we have people who use terminology, but yet they don't have a clue regarding what it is. Hence, that's why I gave the definition. Unfortunately, we have seen this quite a bit in this platform, which is called YouTube, okay, where people will publish confidential data or confidential information without the consent and use it as a form of cyberbullying, okay. Also, as you recall, last year, um, someone uh, hacked into my Facebook account where my friends on Facebook somehow got on notices that I have passed away. And in fact, Keisha reached out to me and asked me if I was okay because she received a notification of my demise. Okay. Which, as a result, I had to change my password in Facebook. So I'm constantly being mindful regarding my social media because, first of all, I'm active on Facebook, I'm active in YouTube, I'm active with Instagram and TikTok, Twitter. So you have to be vi- vigilant to make sure that no one has access to your information. And there have been like one or two people who tried to get access to my social media. And I see here, good evening, George. I say you can get more protection from the meta community so that no one can hack you. Okay, it's good. It's good to know. Thank you very much. So also, excuse me. Let me take this phone call. I'm sorry. I apologize. I had to mute myself because this was a phone call where I have to take. I have to receive. Yeah, you know what? I am aware of that. Yeah, you know what? There are a bunch of cowards. Okay, look, but one thing we're not going to do here on this platform, we're not going to state who are the people who have or allegedly done this, and there's a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't want to highlight their bad behavior. Number one. Number two, it's not necessary. However, my job is to bring to light what's going on, and you take the necessary actions where you got to protect yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So you have to be vigilant um, regarding your social media, and you have to be vigilant whenever anyone does decide to publish your data without your consent. Now, some people, what they will do is they'll post confidential information on YouTube. Okay. So, what you need to do is you need to report these individuals for violation of the community guidelines. And you have to be specific uh, regarding what they did. And you need to put in such language as violation of the community guidelines. Okay, let's see this. Yeah, and that's another problem. Another problem is when they make false accusations and when they uh, involve children's services to 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 state false charges. And what's the problem is the following. First of all, of course, whenever there is an accusation of abuse, child abuse, or neglect, they have to pursue it. Okay. So whenever anyone files a false accusation of abuse or neglect, what's happening is that resources are being taken away from legit cases because people decided to file false cases. So and believe me, as a person that worked in the foster care system for 5 years prior to me working with as a municipal employee, this is a serious matter. And unfortunately, we do have people who are unscrupulous who try to use government sources and government resources as part of their smear campaign regarding certain individuals. It is a reality. I mean, and then what happens is the person that's being accused, they gotta spend their time and energy trying to fight out the false accusations. Okay, and again, because when it comes to children, they have to investigate every case. Okay, um, because heaven forbid, it's a situation where people bring forth an accusation of abuse and neglect regarding a child, and no one follows up, and that there's disastrous results. Okay. Now I'm going to share with it. Now the reason why I'm using my phone instead of sharing it because a couple of times I have had problems with um, uh, technical difficulties. Yeah, that is very true, Georgia. That is very true. Okay. Yeah, and you know what? And it speaks very ill regarding the individual that makes false accusations. It really does. Okay. And it okay. And the fact of the matter is, you can ruin the reputation of certain people. Now, let me just share with you some of the techniques when it comes to doxing. Once people have exposed to doxing, they may be targeted for harassment through methods such as actual harassment in person, face sign up for mails, the subscription, people delivery, bombarded the address with letters, or through swatting the intentional dispatching of the armed police teams to a person's address via falsely reported tips, or through fake emergency service phone calls. The act of reporting a false tip to a police and subsequent summoning of an emergency response team is illegal, punishable by punishable offense in most jurisdictions due to ERTs being compromised and potentially unavailable for real emergencies. Okay. A hacker may obtain an individual docs without making the information public. A hacker may look for this information to extort or coerce a known or unknown target. A hacker may also harvest the victim's information to break into the internet account or take over their social media accounts. Doxing has also occurred in dating apps. In a survey conducted in 2021, 16% of the respondents have reported suffering a doxing because of them. In a 2018 quantitative study about intimate partner violence, 28 out of the 89 participants, both professional and survivors, reported the exposure of victims' private information to third parties through digital technology as a form of humiliation, shaming, or harm frequently practiced by abusers that may include the disclosure of intimate images and impersonation of the victim. So as you can see, it is a serious matter. Okay. Um, Now what I'm going to do, because here we do talk about solutions as well. Okay. Now, parallel to the rise of doxing has been the evolution of cybersecurity, internet privacy, online privacy alliance, and companies that provide anti-doxing services. Most recently, the high-profile groups like the University of California, Berkeley, have made online guidance for protecting its community members from doxing. Wire published an article on dealing with doxing in which Eva Gasper from the Electronic Frontier Foundation
Advise people to Google yourself, block yourself down, and make it harder to access information about you.
Good evening, Luca. Thank you very much. Yeah, you know what? Like I said before, I mean, it's something that has developed and it's really expanded. Okay. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you the definition for slander. Okay. Slander is, first of all, it's a noun. And what it is the utterance of false charges or misrepresentation which defame and damage another person's reputation. Okay. Now, which is very similar to libel. Okay. Because unfortunately, I have known people who, in my estimation, have been the victims of libel, has been the victims of slander, uh, for multiple reasons. Some of them known, some of them unknown. Okay. Um, I have known people here in these YouTube streets that have um, called people everything but a child of God. And also, I've heard people who had used anti LGBT to anti LGBTQ plus rhetoric directed towards certain individuals. Okay. First of all, I mean, as much as I might disagree with the LGBTQ plus community, they have. I mean, I respect who they are. I expect that they have a right to live their lives as they see fit. The only thing is that um, their rights ends when they imposing on me. And to be perfectly honest, I don't. Well, I may not know a great deal regarding the LGBTQ plus community, but for the most part, they just simply want to be left alone and be able to live their lives as they see fit. Okay, look, let me tell you something. We all have I mean, many of us have family members who are part of the LGBTQ community. Okay, and this is my thing. Um, it does not take away the fact that they're part of our families. Okay, or just means that you know, while we may disagree with their individual choices, we're going to respect their individual choices. Okay, because look, we wouldn't want anyone um, to impose on any one of us um, how we should live, or whom we should interact with, or what we should believe or not believe. Okay, what we have to bear in mind that in this country and in several countries, people have the right to live as they see fit, as long as they don't impose their beliefs on others. Okay, your right to practice what you wish ends the minute you try to impose it on me. And the same thing applies to me. My right to practice what I believe and to make the choices that I believe ends when I try to impose it on other people. Okay. Okay, let's see.
Just give me a moment. Okay. Now let me just give you the definition of libel. Okay. Libel is a written statement in which a plaintiff in certain courts set forth the cause of action which relief is sought, especially attacking or defaming someone, a written or oral defamatory statement or representation that conveys an unjustly or unfavorable impression, a statement or representation published without just cause tending to expose another to public contempt, defamation of a person by written or representational means, the publication of blasphemous, treasonable, seditious, or obscene writings or pictures, the act or thought of a crime which publishing such a libel. Okay, so that's the definition of libel. Okay, and unfortunately, and this is something that we have to accept, is that we have certain individuals who, for whatever reason, they use social media to give false narratives regarding certain individuals. Okay, like I said before, this is something that's been going on for quite some time. And in all fairness, this is something that I didn't think that I would have to be mindful of, but something that I have seen as a YouTube creator for almost 2.5 years. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. The topic for tonight, yeah, the topic for tonight is dealing with libel and doxing. Okay, because unfortunately, I mean, the fact that we have to be discussing this issue and the reason why we have to discuss this issue is because of the fact that we have people here in this on the social media who uses these platforms, whether it be YouTube, whether it be TikTok, whether it be Instagram, whatever you, for the purpose of defaming people and also uh, publishing confidential information without their consent in the form of harassment or bullying. Okay, that's something that's been going on for a long time. Okay, so now one thing I will do is just for your own personal edification, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the guidelines that is here on YouTube. I'm sure similar guidelines exist on the other platforms, and so let me just see. Just give me a moment. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so I can share with you what are the community guidelines. Just give me a moment.
Okay, hopefully it'll show up. Okay, so this is a guideline. Okay, let's see. Now, as you stated, YouTube has always set community guidelines that outline what type of content isn't allowed on YouTube. These policies apply to all types of content in our platform, including videos, comments, links, and thumbnails. Our community guidelines is a key part of our broader, broader suite of policies and are regularly updated in consultation with outside experts and YouTube creators to keep pace with emerging challenges. Okay. Now the community guidelines cover a wide area of concerns. So you can see here, let's see. So on the left side, you have what's called spam and deceptive practices. On the right side is you have sensitivity content. Okay. So under spam and deceptive practices include fake engagement, impersonation, external links, spam and deceptive practices or scam, playlists, and additional policies. Now, there are also copyright policies involved. In other words, you cannot air other people's content without their permission. Okay, with the exception of free use, in which you give your own spin and interpretation regarding the topic in question. I try to be very careful when it comes to other people's content. So I don't. I have been fortunate. I have not been hit with a community strike. Okay, because I try to be very careful when I do share other people's content. It's usually under the guise of free use, which I'll stop and then I'll give my own personal interpretation, my own review. Now let's take a look where it says. Okay, just give me a moment. So when I highlighted, okay, I don't think. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna read it because uh, now the fake engagement policy is as follows. YouTube does not allow anything that artificially increases the number of views, likes, comments, or other metrics by using automatic systems of serving up videos on unsuspecting viewers. Also, content that solely exists to incentivize viewers of engagement, views, like, and comments is prohibited. Okay. Basically, what that means is you cannot buy views, you cannot buy subs. Okay. And there's certain consequences that occur when you do that. Okay. Excuse me. Now I'm just going to highlight what's called impersonation. Okay. And under this policy, content, okay, impersonate policy states the following. Content intended to impersonate a person or a channel is not allowed on YouTube. YouTube also enforces trademark holder rights when a channel or content up in the channel causes confusion about the source of goods and services advertised. It may not be allowed. Okay. Now we're going to talk about spam and deceptive scams. Let's see. Excuse me, just one moment. Ugh. That is true. Okay, that's true. Now, I know that, okay, excuse me. I know that there are certain, okay, okay, there's certain individuals that try to get away with buying subs. I have never done so, nor would I do so, because I'm going to assume that YouTube is well aware, and I don't want my channel to be deleted but for buying subs. Okay. Now, YouTube does not allow spam, scams, or other deceptive practices to take advantage of the YouTube community. We also don't allow content where the main purpose is to trick others into leaving YouTube for another site. Okay. So now what we're gonna what we're gonna do is we're gonna be talking about some of the other issues, which is sensitive, which is child safety. YouTube does not allow content that endangers the emotional and physical well-being of minors. A minor is someone who is under 18 years old. If you find content that violates a policy, report it. If you believe a child is in danger, you should get in touch with the local law enforcement to report the situation immediately. Okay, so now this is where it's an issue when people um, make false accusations regarding child abuse or neglect. Because what you're doing is resources are being wasted to follow up on these false claims. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look. Now, as far as thumbnails are concerned, okay, there are some images that are not allowed um, when you create your thumbnails, which is pornographic imagery, sexual acts, or the use of sex toys, fetishes, or other sexual gratifying imagery, nudity, including genitals, imagery that depicts unwanted sexualization, violent images that intend to shock or disgust, graphic or disturbing imagery with blood or gore, vulgar or lewd language, a thumbnail which that misleads viewers to think they're about to view something that's not in the video. Okay. So, you know, look, the fact of the matter is that's why whenever anyone that's here for the first time, I have to, they have to come up in the backstage, because if I let someone on the panel and they flash some sort of genitalia, YouTube can take this stream down. Now, let me just. Okay. There's also, um, it also deals with, the guidelines. It also deal with mental health issues. Okay. At YouTube, we take the health and well-being of our creators and viewers seriously. Awareness and understanding of mental health is important, and we support creators sharing their stories, such as posting content discussing their experiences with depression, self-harm, eating disorder, and other mental health issues. However, we do not allow content on YouTube that promotes suicide, self-harm, or eating disorders, which is intended to shock or disgust or that possesses consider risk to viewers. Okay. Now I have discussed multiple streams regarding um, issues regarding mental health and some of my personal life and things I have dealt with, but I would never encourage anyone to self delete. Okay. Another sensitive content is when it comes to vulgar language.
If you find content that violates this policy, report it. Instructions for reporting violations of our community guidelines are available here. If you found a few videos or comments that you would like to report, you can report it to the channel. Now, what it means is explicit content that violates the policy, which could result in age restriction, content removal, or strike. We may consider following when deciding whether to age restrict, remove content, or issue a strike. Use of sexually explicit language or narratives. Use of excessive narrative in the content. Use of profanity or sexually suggested terms in the content's title, thumbnail, or associated metadata. Use of excessive sexual sounds. Okay. So let me just make CA. Okay. So as you can see, the reason why, okay, and also, yeah, they did, yeah, that's the reason why I take the actions that I take, okay, and that's how Zacharias lost his channel, unfortunately. Now I'm just going to read, excuse me, when it comes to harassment and cyber bullying. We do not allow content that targets someone with prolonged insults or slurs based on their physical traits or protected group status, like age, disability, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or race. We also don't allow other harmful behaviors like threats or doxing. Keep in mind that we take a stricter approach on content that target minors. If you find content that violates the policy, report it. Instruction. Okay. So this deals with harassment in the form of doxing. Okay. I'm not going to go over it, everything. Just give me a moment. I'm sorry, it does that. Okay. Now, there are other things that you're not allowed to do. Okay. Spread misinformation. Okay. Now, let me just give a highlight what does misinformation means. Means suppression of census participation, content aiming to mislead census participants about time and place or means or eligibility requirements of the census or false claims that could virtually discharge census participation. Manipulated content which has been technically manipulated or adopted in a way that misleads users. And misattributed content that poses a serious risk to egregious harm by falsely claiming that the old footage is from a past event, from a current event. So there's also issues regarding election misrepresentation, things of that nature. So now I'm just going to park it here. Yeah, unfortunately, see, look, that's why there's certain things that I do to make sure to protect myself, okay? For starters, whenever I do air any content, I make sure that I put in the subscriber mode, enable the subscriber mode. Yeah, yes, people, let's hit the like, please, okay? And again, if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. That's why I take a series of actions which I do in order to try to protect myself. First of all, I'm enabled the subscriber mode. Meaning, anyone who wants to enter a comment in the chat, you have to be a subscriber. Okay. Also, uh, anyone that's anyone that's new and wishes to hop on the panel, you have to come up. Okay. Because I want to make sure that you don't flash anything inappropriate. Okay. Because if a person gets on the platform and flashes any type of genitalia, YouTube can take this stream down. Okay. And also another thing that will help you is when you have moderators, okay, which will keep an eye on the chat and make sure that anyone who puts any inappropriate comments will be blocked or timed out. Okay. So it's a lot that you have to do, but it's necessary because again, you need to protect the integrity of your platform, which means you have to do certain things. Okay. Um, Also, there have been people who have shared my content without my consent. So when that does happen, I will report the individuals to YouTube for copyright infringement. In fact, let me just. Okay. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, um, to do the research, look up your data, present your data. The last thing you want is to have someone that's going to use your content without your permission. Okay. Um, Now, there have been times where I would like, when I'm talking, um, okay, good night, Keishal. Thank you very much for stopping by. That's the reason why, um, no, like there's sometimes where I'm talking about a serious discussion. I might just give a general invitation for people to share my content. Um, at this point, I have to restrict it to the ones that actually support the channel on a regular basis. So, someone like a Gigi or Multi or Kesha or Don Armando or Irby whenever he has his own platform. Okay, so I have to restrict it because the last thing I want people to do is to use my content without my permission, and particularly as a means to try to attack other people. Okay, um, I take this very seriously. Okay, I do watch other people's content, and if I see like people sharing my content without my permission, or people trying to use my content without my permission, they will be reported. Okay, and also there have been people that have reported to me as well. Gave me a heads up. So in any case, I have been talking for almost an hour. Okay. If anyone wishes to join the panel, they can do so. If anyone wishes to have any further comments, that's perfectly fine. If no one wishes to join the panel, I will stop to wrap this up. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And that's the reason. Okay, that's the reason why. See, that's the reason why. Now I know in your case, Jojo, I do have your permission to share your content, but I've never done so because I don't share other people's content without their express permission to do so. Because first of all, it is considered theft, and I don't want to get hit with a copyright strike. Okay, I do recognize the fact that people, they devote a great deal of time and energy in producing their content. Okay, and it really, it's sad when people, they use other people's content without without permission and without giving the proper credit, the proper credit to those individuals. Okay, so I'm very careful when it comes to that. Okay. Well, one thing I will do. One thing I will do is when I do use other people's content, I do give them the credit that's due. Okay, I do that. Okay, um, because I think it's only fair that you acknowledge the fact that who created the content. Because the fact of the matter is, um, they devote a great deal of time and energy um, to produce their content. So it's only appropriate that you do give the proper credit. Okay, and that's something that I always do. Okay, um, but even still, it's whenever I can, I will ask people for their consent um, to sh- to share their content. Okay, uh, and also I do appreciate the fact that there have been numerous people that seem fit to share my content. Okay, I know Gigi has shared my content a great deal. Thank you very much, Gigi. I really appreciate it. Um, Keishal has shared my content. I think Denise shared my content once. Okay, I don't have. Okay, now I see here we have a guest. So I want to make this perfectly clear that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you break the rights to your image. Some of the views that people hold may be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. Okay, and here we go. Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Donama.
How you doing?
Okay, fine. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year and Happy Three Kings Day.
Yeah, happy Three Kings Day too.
So, what your thoughts about the topic?
I mean, it's a good topic because you have a lot of individuals who I'm not going to name because I know that they're cowards and they'll try to use the justice systems against a person, unjustly. So since I don't mess with cowards that want to call the justice system any type of way, that's why I don't mention names. But certain people, they feel threatened by my presence just because of who I'm friends with. So I don't really care. So me personally, I think there's a lot of lies around here. I mean, I've been the subject of a big lie for 2 years, and it's funny because none of them. Whenever I tell people go around and substantiate it, they do not have any concrete proof of that lie. So with that lie, I've been doxxed. I've and people have tried have went up and searched up not only my information, but people who are related to me information and social media, so they could go around and try to perpetrate a lie and go and tell people that they're gonna go and put me in jail just because I'm friends with somebody that they don't like.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have seen a lot of it here on YouTube, where people have posted confidential information on certain individuals and spread lies, which is why I get the definition of libel,
Yes,
because whatever beefs that they have.
I mean, I know certain individuals who are, been subject to libel, and one to me, which is funny, is that I'm not gonna go around and say anything, but you know, there's one person that that they have actually went up and hit several people that we know of, and to me, it's funny that you want to go and they want to go and look at me and call me filth and whatsoever, and then on top of it, they act like they know a person. Then this is the funny part. Is that we're gonna go to where you live at, so therefore you could get arrested, and I'm afraid of Philadelphia and all this stuff, but I'm still gonna get you arrested. So let's put it straight, right? The person who actually doxed me, right.
Yeah,
So this is how it started. Well, we don't know how it really started, but I'm saying how it started with the doxing. I went up on another content creator's page, and it was all good. We're just talking about something that happened or anything like that. Now, the next day, that content creator went up and flipped and said that was another person by the name of Duke, who I've actually spoken to. So since I saw what they were doing and how messy they were, I went up and I blocked two of these content creators. The one that I spoken to in good faith and then went up and tried to bash me, and the other one who was actually on his chat line called me filth just of just because of who I'm friends with. So like 3 months, like 2 or 3 months later last year, before I went to the Dominican Republic, I posted a picture of me and my wife celebrating our 9 years together. This guy went up and said that they're going to go and write a report on under a fake account or whatsoever. So I blocked that because I'm like, okay, so you want to do this all for what?
okay.
Just because I'm friends
Excuse
with
me, hold
somebody
on a
that you
second.
don't like? Yeah. And then whoop de doo, they went up and doxed my information and went and released a private medical concern that my wife has to the public. They were crafty with it too. They know that they were not going to use my wife's real name. So they went up and they actually used a slur against her. So my thing is that since that person has a history of harassing people, I'm just gonna step back and I'm just going to collect my receipts. They're gonna go around and come at me again because I don't care about them. And when it shows that I don't care about them or any other social media trolls that I'm against or against me for just because I'm saying my truth that I'm an Afro Latino, I don't really care because I know who I am at the end of the day. And I got 418 subscribers. I guess that's good for a struggling channel.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, first of all, as a huge shout out to you for your success.
thank you.
but like I said before, unfortunately, the fact of the matter is, people got nothing better to do than to try to harass, bully, or dox people. Okay, that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Okay, which is why we have to have this discussion. So basically, all I'm trying to do is like share what we can do to deal with these people. Okay, okay. You have to be mindful of your own social media, and you have
Oh,
to
oh,
be
oh, 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 yeah. One thing I gotta say to anybody who's a content creator and stuff, like in order not to really get doxxed or anything like that, one thing that I could actually say, which is good, is make sure that you actually have your social media or your information protected by agencies because from what I was told, you have certain people that will try to put your social security number on the dark web, so you could be a victim of hackers. You will actually have certain people that will try to swat you. So what I say for anybody who's actually listening, get a VPN first of all, because the VPN will help when a person will actually try to go and dox your information. I mean, when this particular person went up and doxed me or whatever, they had a hard time until like maybe October when they went up and they doxed me. But then all the time I had a VPN and I still maintain a VPN. So therefore, if you have a VPN that has several countries, that will help too as far as a person trying to dox your information.
mhm, yeah.
Okay, let me just see. One more thing. Okay. Oops. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, the fact that we even have to discuss it, it just shows how serious this is. Okay. And, you know, this is not something that other people are talking about. I mean, but it has to be discussed, and we have to do things to protect ourselves and to make sure that we do everything possible. Like for example, on YouTube, I mean, we have to vet the people who come on who want to come on our platforms. Okay, which is why anyone that's new, they have to come up in the backstage. So there have been people who have tried to get on the platform, but they refuse to come up. So guess what? They were denied access to the to the plat to the panel. And because the last thing I want is someone flashing something inappropriate and then causing my stream to be taken down.
Yeah. Well, in this case, Don Jose, thank you for having me on your platform.
Okay, well, thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Okay, so like I said before, it is a serious issue, but it has to be discussed. Okay, because ignoring the issue does not help. Um, it does not help. Now, I do appreciate the interaction. Okay. First of all, I do appreciate all of you who are watching, even those who are watching from the clouds. Okay. What I would appreciate is you hit the like button. Okay. Because it does not, first of all, it helps, it does help with the algorithm. It doesn't cost you anything. And I'm just doing my part to try to share information that is needed. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what's going to be the topic for my stream on Tuesday. So some of you may or may not know that I actually took a poll on my community tab where I asked people to consider who's going to be the next famous person that I should talk about as far as facts is concerned. So on Tuesday, I'm going to be talking about Britney Spears. So I'm going to share some facts regarding her. Okay. Um, what I will ask, if you have not voted on the community tab, please cast your vote. Also, if there's anybody else that you want me to talk about as far as like a famous performer, whatever, does what you can do is you can comment onto the stream tonight. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, you can hit me up there. Also follow me when in TikTok because I encourage your input. It really would appreciate it because I can I can talk about who I think I should talk about. Okay. Yeah. You know what? That's something, unfortunately, that's something that will have to be done because look, that's why when it comes to certain things, certain things about your personal life, you really cannot discuss it here on social media. You cannot discuss it here. You cannot discuss it in any social media. And actually, um, there's certain things you can't even share with some of your friends because what they could do is they'll like use your information against you. So you really have to when it comes to anything that's highly personal nature, you have to restrict it to uh, a couple of people. You have to, okay, because you do have to protect yourself at all times. Well, in any case, so like I said, I will be talking about Britney Spears Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. What I also will do is during that stream, I will ask the audience, is there anybody else they want me to talk about? By all means, let me know. Okay, I will share. Hopefully, you will also participate as well because because I don't want it to be a monologue, and this is not an echo chamber. I do encourage people to share their input on any given topic, and even when we disagree, we can be respectable when we disagree. In any case, I'm gonna start to wrap it up. I really appreciate all the people uh, who appeared on the chat, and I think really appreciate Don Armando um, sharing his point of view. And the whole point is to share information to be better prepared. That's why I just stick with the facts and I did not share any information from any people allegedly doing this type of content because I'm not going to give them any type of shine in any way, shape, or form. Okay. So, and of course, all of you are more than welcome to enter your comments after the stream is over. Just be mindful. Um, Keep it respectable. And if you're gonna be using the comment section to harass other creators, it will be deleted, and then you'll be denied access. It is that simple. Okay. And if you don't like the way I do things,
There are literally millions of other YouTube creators that you could partake with. I thank you all for your time, and I thank all of you for your continued support. So, of course, I'm going to end the same way I usually end. We must do what we can to reduce our influence by the mentally intellectually challenged. Because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron saying good night, take care, and peace.